Well, every scumbag gets their day, and today we're reviewing Tone. I'm going to show you how to best utilize him best, show you his pros and cons in Frontier Defense, and show you what it actually takes to be a good teammate utilizing this most hated Titan. Hey, what's going on, guys? So I know he's one of the most hated Titans in Titanfall 2. He's like one of the most overpowered Titans in the multiplayer, but I have to say, Tone is by far one of the best Titans that you want to have on your team in Frontier Defense. He's an amazing support Titan, being able to help out teammates with targeting, as well as dealing out a lot of DPS. So I want to get into the crux of the matter, let you guys know what his best attributes are, how to best use him, and what to actually watch out for when you're using this Titan to support you the best possible way. So for his first pro, I've got to talk about his cannon. The 40mm cannon that he uses is amazing. It's an amazing piece of weaponry to any of the Titans out there. It deals out a lot of DPS, and actually later on through his upgrades of Tone does actual AoE damage to people that are around where he's shooting his cannon. And that's going to be the crappy thing about it when you're actually first playing Tone, is that you'll kind of sense that his 40mm cannon is kind of weak compared to some of the Titans and the Reapers and whatnot, because you haven't gotten those upgrades as you're making your way through the Frontier Defense upgrade system and leveling system. So just bear with Tone. I know Tone can be kind of a pain in the butt for being kind of boring of just doing the same stuff over and over, but I'm guaranteeing you guys that you're going to have a lot of fun with him once you actually start upgrading his weaponry and his capability in Frontier Defense. Now, the one thing I would actually say about using his 40mm cannon is the fact of giving yourself a lot of room to kind of breathe and engage targets is going to help you out tremendously. You can engage targets from very far away. This thing still has a lot of potency, a lot of firepower when you're engaging targets from pretty far away. So give yourself room. The AI are going to be coming towards you to engage fights, and you can actually sit back and try to engage people from far away. Or like in this case, when we were doing insane mode on forward base, I would actually post up on the top left and right parts in the middle and deal damage from up top down below, and getting that splash damage on people helps me get lock-ons with my rockets. Now, you can do two different things. You can get the upgrade to the rockets and having 2 extra rockets into your rocket barrage and have that as your Titan kit, or you can use the Tone kit of being able to get an additional pulse with your Titan. And leading into pulse is what I use. I use the Pulse Echo. Pulsing out targets gives you and your team 25% extra damage when engaging targets. Now, that might not seem like a whole lot, but it honestly, it definitely helps out everybody. One, on Insane, and I know everybody's kind of working their way up to Insane, you have no mini-map. So the Pulse is actually going to help you lock onto targets, and it's going to give your team actual lock-ons to where people are at. Like, oh, hey, I can see that Tone through the wall, or I can see that Scorch through the wall because my Tone has pulsed out where this guy's location's at. And that's a very helpful thing of, maybe there might not be a call out somewhere, but at least the Tone can mark people. The other thing, like I said, the 25% extra damage helps out tremendously because you never engage in a fight by yourself, or it's rarely ever happened. Each Titan needs one another. I need a Scorch because I can't do great damage when there's like a lot of people in one area. Same with the Scorch. The Scorch can't do a whole lot of damage with me if he doesn't have that extra 25% to kind of end the fight quickly. So this extra 25% damage to Titans helps out tremendously because it ends fights quicker, and you have a lot of time being able to go after other fights. And this is this one fight that you're going after, and this guy's not pulsed. You're not spending all of your time on this guy, because that 25% is helping you out quite a bit. So I definitely recommend people that run Tone use that as much as you possibly can. Anytime it has a chance to come up, use it. It's going to help out your teammates. It's going to help you because it's going to make some of these fights a lot shorter, which gives you a chance to focus on other parts of the map when you're coming out with different engagements. Last two things I would talk about. Again, I'm going to go back to the 40 mil and say that, again, it was a pain to actually rank up Tone through Frontier Defense, but when it comes to his cannon, again, the extended magazine is probably one of the best upgrades that he gets. Not only is the 25% pulse damage pretty good, but the extended mag helps you out so much because you're not reloading like every 2 seconds. I feel like with the 12-round magazine, I felt like I was reloading like every couple of seconds, and like, oh my god, this is taking away all the DPS that I can possibly do with Tone because I got to reload. And then when you get that extended mag, it helps out a lot because you don't feel like you have to reload every 2 seconds of firing his 40 mil cannon. So you're definitely going to enjoy that. It's going to up your DPS when you're going after people because you're not reloading, you're not wasting that time, and that just means more rounds downrange. So you're definitely going to love that upgrade when you get to it. The last thing I would talk about as his pro is the particle wall. The particle wall is going to save you bits because, I mean, it sucks going after against other tones, other monarchs, other scorches, because they deal out so much damage when you get into the hard, master, and insane modes. So that particle wall is going to help you out tremendously by being able to, get away with, being able to deal a lot more damage, but also have some protection to where you're not getting, hit every 2 seconds, and, you're getting closer to that doom state. So that's another pro of Tone, because no other Titan has a full head-to-toe shield like Tone does. So another pro for him. It's great to have it, and I don't think you'd be able to play this character without having this particle wall. Now, for some of his cons, it goes again into what I've been kind of talking about of how much of a pain it is to kind of level him up, and as well as him as a Titan being able to fight different types of battles with some of his abilities. So I'll go first into, trying to upgrade Tone is a pain. It really is. So for some of his upgrades that he has that are really great for, the higher levels you go, the higher difficulties you go to, are great to have. I had them in Insane, and they were a tremendous, a great effort to have on me, and it made the fights a lot easier. But I know for a lot of people that don't like playing Tone, play him, get used to him, know his abilities, know his limitations. But like I said, ranking him up is a pain in the ass. So that's just kind of one of the cons I had against playing Tone. So for his next con, I would say that, Tone is not a close range, main Titan whatsoever. Tone has some terrible ways of being able to fight up close. Yeah, he does have some capabilities of doing it, but again, like I said, some of these Titans in this game, Scorch, other Tones that are in the game, some North Stars that are at the higher difficulties will completely destroy you. I mean, I found that out with Monarch trying to steal batteries at this higher level, and they just completely drained me of all my health. So like I said, use Tone as a long-range engagement, kind of get the height advantage of some people if you can on certain maps, but definitely use him on like long pathways. I mean, Rise is a great example of being able to hit multiple targets with those explosive rounds and marking a lot of different targets to where you can do a lot of DPS while they're trying to make their way down the alleys. So use that length, that distance away as your advantage, because getting close and personal with Tone while you're playing him is a son of a bitch. And for his last two cons, I have to say the 25% pulse extra damage, it doesn't last for too long. I mean, until you actually unlock that 60% length of how long the pulse is actually out there, and that longer duration of having that 25% extra bonus damage. It's I don't know. To me, it felt like it doesn't last very long. So you definitely have to use it as often as you can, but as many targets as you can, because if you miss one, that's one target that's not getting an extra 25% damage, and it doesn't really charge up too fast. So I don't know what it is about the length of how long it lasts on the battlefield and how long it takes to get it back, but it's just one gripe I had. But still having that 25% extra damage means a lot to the higher difficulties. So definitely recommend using it, but that was just one con I had against of it just not lasting a whole lot of time. The next thing was some of the rocket barrages will actually miss some of your targets if they actually dodge at the right second. I mean, these are AI we're talking about, so they're going to know, what way you're going to move before you do. And that's kind of the pain in the ass about playing against AI at the higher difficulties. But it's just one thing that you'll have to mitigate when you're looking at Titans or Reapers. You might shoot at a Reaper and he doesn't dodge, and then you shoot rockets and then he dodged. So wait for their dodges, because half the time when they dodge one time, they're not going to dodge right after the next. So just that's one thing that I had just as something to watch out for, but it's something that happened pretty rarely. Now let's talk about the different kits that you can use for Tone to maximize how much damage he deals, as well as let's go over his upgrades so you guys have a better understanding of what you have to look forward to when you're playing Tone. So there's 3 options in Tone's kit that I definitely recommend people to try out and to see which one you do well with. So the first one I recommend is the Reinforced Particle Wall. Now this particle wall is going to be able to take a lot more damage and last a little bit longer. So this gives you the time to either engage targets that are in front of you or be able to fall back and give you a little bit of breathing room before you have to get to your next engagement. The next one I recommend is Rocket Barrage. Now this is going to add 2 additional missiles to your tracking rockets and give you a little bit more firepower, a little bit more DPS on the battlefield, and just try to help you out with, trying to engage different targets. So you have multiple targets locked out, you're going to be able to do a lot more damage with Rocket Barrage. The last kit I recommend is Pulse Echo, and this is the one that I use because it helps me out being able to mark additional targets with that 25% extra damage. So the way it works is that you're going to pulse out to an area, and it's going to send out an additional pulse after that first pulse goes off. It really helps me trying to get additional targets and get more targets with that mark and that 25% extra damage, and it allows more enemies to show up on the battlefield if the map is missing like an insane. So I feel like it helps me out quite a bit, and I definitely recommend people trying to use this later on in the harder difficulties so everybody can kind of chip in and help out when people are actually getting 25% more damage on targets. Now, onto her upgrades, I have to say Tone gets some amazing upgrades to make her a more formidable Titan on the battlefield to be able to fight with and go after and engage targets. So for her first upgrade, she gets blast rounds. Now this actually increases the splash radius of her explosive rounds of her 40mm cannon. Helps out a lot. It's tremendously helpful because you're trying to mark additional targets and that splash damage actually marks them. So you could shoot on the ground, you could shoot in between Titans and try to get those marks to where you can actually use your tracking rockets. I love it that this is the first upgrade, and you guys are definitely going to notice a change on how Tone plays once you actually unlock this first upgrade. Now Sonar weak point is that 25% extra damage I've been talking about. So when you actually send out a pulse, it's going to mark everybody in red, and people that are marked red are going to be identified as people that are going to take a little bit more damage. It's very helpful. It's awesome. You're going to be able to see them through walls if you're a teammate and you can't see where people are at. You're going to be able to see them through walls and track them through walls, and I love that this pulse ability helps out so many people, not just Tone, but her teammates. Next one is extended ammo, and this is you are going to love this. I loved it. It was amazing. You're not going to be having to reload every 4 seconds when you're using extended ammo. You can reload whenever you want to, or you can drain the magazine and still feel like you did an amazing job being able to hit so many targets. Love extended ammo. It's going to be so helpful. You're going to notice a difference when you play Tone, and I just can't wait for you guys to get this because it's definitely a game changer. The next one is signal strength. Now this is going to make your pulse signal actually last a little bit longer, so 60% longer, so people are going to be marked for longer, and you're going to be able to get more damage on people. Before this upgrade, pulse actually doesn't really last very long, but now when you get this 60% increase in time, it definitely helps out trying to get more damage on targets, and especially to your teammates, being able to find them and then deal more damage to them as well. Now the last one is Salvo Core Barrage, and this is, you're going to see a change a little bit of how many rockets you actually send out during your Salvo Core. I definitely recommend running Overcore with this. It's definitely cool to see how many rockets come out, but this definitely helps out too when you're getting into those harder difficulties. Insane mode, you're going to definitely notice a difference using this and getting more damage on targets, and it's just going to help out tremendously. This is an awesome last upgrade, and it's just fun. It's a really fun upgrade. I know Tone is one of the most hated Titans in multiplayer, but you're definitely going to love using her in front of defense. Either you playing her or your teammates playing her, she's definitely going to be a great asset for you while you're playing. Now, I really hope this guide was helpful. I really hope that you guys have a lot of success with Tone. She's definitely a great Titan to use, and she's a great support Titan for everyone. Well, guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please drop me a like. Let me know down in the comments below what you liked most, or if I forgot something, let me know. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and I will see you guys next time.